In this penultimate episode of History on the Move, we see the sheer level of work that was required to restore the Daniel Adamson, and we meet more of the amazing volunteers who dedicated their time and their experience to renovating her back to her former glory.
It's January, and after 8 months of serious graft, Danny is well on her way to her former glory. Camel Laird's workforce are given full rein to their traditional skills as they strip back Daniel Adamson to the bare metal and then painstakingly weld, prime and paint her back into ship-shape form. The heart of a steamship is her boiler. And here the Danny's tired old 1953 boiler is lifted out for a vital overhaul. The sound of the riveting echoing off the walls is something that this shipyard hasn't heard the likes of for many a year. Whilst the Danny is in the hands of the shipyard, the volunteers are still working hard at their base across the river at Sandon Dock. Today, John is using skills he learnt whilst working on the Manchester Ship Canal to make rope fenders for the Danny. It's a dying art, and one that John is keen to see kept alive by teaching the other volunteers.
Right.
Back at Camel Laird Shipyard, Alan proudly shows off the new wheelhouse which he single-handedly built through months of painstaking work.
So I've just copied of the old wheelhouse that was bought at the workshop, which is just like a big rotten wreck. So I had to try and copy it, imagine how it would have looked. Just old photographs from when it was being built with the old workers on it, and the shirts and ties, cravats, had that to work off. And the old wheelhouse that come to the workshop, which is mostly rotten away. There was a section of framing missing, there was the sash missing, there was no door on it. So we had to just think how it would have went like.
At the project's core is the Society's Sandon Dock workshop, where the volunteers' meeting of skills and experience have formed a life-changing bond through sheer graft and countless mugs of tea.
The camaraderie on there, there's 7-man crew on there, engineers, 3 engineers, us 3 deck crew, skipper of course, but everybody mucked in, we all got it cleaned, had to make sure everything was spotless, all the brasses had to be done. But it was a pleasure to work on because I'd only seen steam as a youngster on the side of the canal, but working on that, I'd worked on all diesel tugs while I'd been in the fleet, and working on that was a nice change. Camaraderie, as I said, a camaraderie. It was absolutely great. There was only one aim for the whole of us, is to see the Queen back in steam like she will be now. It's been a hard 12 years, but I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change anything for what I'm going to have. We couldn't have done it with all the volunteers that's been around, different walks of life. But as I say, we're friends for life now.
Join us next time as we get to see the Daniel Adamson finally heading home.